So I've just got a question here from a viewer asking, what is the reverse diet? Because I've referenced it before in previous videos and they're just wondering, is this for them because they've started a plateau, their weight's not moving where it needs to be. So today what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you a breakdown of what the reverse diet is, what you need to know, and to see whether you yourself could benefit from perhaps doing a reverse diet. Let's get into it. You can't keep losing weight indefinitely. That's a fact, okay? Weight will have a limit, so you can't just kind of use the same calories you start with and then you'll just keep losing weight. It doesn't work that way. There will be a time when your body slows down and it resists change, okay? That's inevitable. So that is when you want to recalibrate your strategy and do a different kind of approach to be able to overcome that plateau and keep moving forward. But what happens when you reach a plateau that is not realistic or healthy to actually go past, okay? Maybe cutting calories further to create a further calorie deficit is not viable. What happens when it's not healthy or realistic to do this? What then? Well, that's where a reverse diet comes in. It's a very specific strategy with a very specific purpose. As I said, it's a reverse diet. It's essentially a strategy. It's a tool in your toolbox that you can use at your disposal in a specific situation for a specific purpose to overcome a plateau and to overcome a barrier when it comes to weight loss, so you can keep moving forward and keep kind of moving towards that goal weight or that goal physique that you're out to achieve. It's essentially a specific calorie manipulation strategy. That's really what it is. You're manipulating the calories in a certain way to achieve a certain outcome. It's calorie increasing with a specific purpose. The purpose being elevating your metabolism, elevating that baseline maintenance calories to a higher level, while at the same time minimizing weight gain, so you can then start losing weight again and start kind of working from a new threshold, and keep moving forward and keep getting some traction behind your nutrition plan. Think of it like a reset. You're resetting your metabolism, your calories, you're resetting that threshold, that benchmark, while at the same time avoiding kind of weight regain, okay? Avoiding kind of losing all those results you've already achieved and kind of losing your gains, so to speak, so that you are then in a better position to then continue losing weight in the future. That's it. That's simply the tactic of a reverse diet. That's simply what it is. It's just a specific calorie manipulation strategy with the purpose being increasing and resetting your metabolism so that you can then be in a position to then keep losing weight again and again and do it over and over as needed, without obviously losing all that weight loss you have achieved thus far. The reality is there will be some weight gain. That's just the nature of increasing your calories. But the purpose is, when done right, when done strategically, you're ideally minimizing any weight regain while then resetting your calories so you can then work from there again and keep moving forward, keep getting the results, and keep getting closer to that physique that you were out to kind of attain. So you're probably wondering now, okay, Aleksa, you told me what a reverse diet is, but how do I know if I should be kind of doing a reverse diet, or if it's something that I should be considering at this stage of the weight loss process? And that's a good question. And you got to remember, there are different phases to the fat loss kind of journey. There's different phases you got to consider, and each phase has different strategies you need to use to be able to keep moving and keep kind of achieving and keep progressing. Now, let me be clear. The only surefire way for you to know accurately whether a reverse diet is the best thing for you is to seek out a sports dietitian to get that guidance. Now, it's very important that I kind of make a point of this, is that reverse dieting, if it's a very simple in theory kind of strategy, but it's very, very much something that you want to be getting some guidance from like a sports dietitian or someone that can help you kind of guide you through this process, because it's a slippery slope when done incorrectly, and you want to know that you're on the right track, as well as having that accountability and that guidance to make sure you're moving along in the right pace. So in saying that, the most surefire way for you to actually know whether reverse diet is right for you is really to seek out a professional who can then guide you, look at your biofeedback, look at your weight history, look at your goals, look at what you've achieved thus far, and determine whether reverse diet is the next best step. But there are some scenarios when you can actually use to assess your own situation to determine perhaps, if you are ready for a reverse diet, or to seek help for a reverse diet. And I'm going to share those 3 things with you now, so you can kind of assess your own kind of circumstances, your own nutrition plan, your own kind of progression, so to speak. And from that, decide whether a reverse diet would actually be potentially beneficial for you. Number 1 is very simple. Have you been on a diet or a calorie deficit for a long period of time? And by long period of time, I mean several months, a year, if not more. Well, then perhaps you should start considering a reverse diet, especially if things are starting to plateau at this point. Our bodies don't like being in a deficit long term. It causes stress in our bodies, especially if that deficit is very, 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 specific, very, very small as well. So if you're only eating a low amount of calories, and especially if you're an active individual. So if this is something that actually applies to you, if this is something that you're like, listen to this and being like, oh, that's me, then perhaps a reverse diet could be something that could help you. In fact, I have a lot of clients when they first come and see me, they've been dieting for so long, maybe 2 to 3 years, some of them, and they've been dieting for so long that their bodies have just metabolic adaptated. They're eating low calories, but their weight's not moving, and that is when they have to kind of use a reverse diet to get back on track to then be able to lose weight. It comes down to kind of asking, and determining, are they actually ready to lose weight? Sometimes that's not the case. So you've got to think about that. You've got to think about where you are in your journey and determine whether the next phase is actually a reverse diet. And number 2 is when you have reached the point where you're eating only about 1,200 or so calories or less, and now your weight's plateauing and you're not getting the results you're hoping to achieve. That is when it's a real surefire sign that you should be reverse dieting, because you do not want to be cutting further calories if you're at that level. Okay. Now, of course, if you've got like a competition coming up and you're at that really low levels and you're a body comp kind of athlete, perhaps like a bodybuilder or something, then yeah, perhaps then for you it's viable to keep doing this for that short period of time to achieve what you need to achieve. And then a reverse diet then. But if you're someone who's been chronically dieting for a while, if you're someone who's more, kind of recreational with your physique kind of change, perhaps it's just saying that you're in it for the long term, just to kind of feel healthier, happier, more confident in, and you don't have a specific competition coming up, then really what I recommend is if you're at that 1,200 or so calorie mark, reverse diet if things are plateauing, because you do not want to be going below that. 1,200 is hard enough. I've worked with clients who have come and seen me who are on 1,200 and they do not enjoy it. Okay, I've had clients where we've had to get down to 1,200 and it's not fun times at that point either, and we have to then reverse diet. So if you're at that point where it's 1,200 or less calories, it really isn't that realistic or viable, because it's not sustainable to keep cutting calories further from there and creating further energy deficits. So a reverse diet definitely would be something to look into if this is a situation for you. Now, the third thing comes down to biofeedback. Okay, if you're at a level, maybe it's not even 1,200, maybe you're at a level that's only 1,500, let's say 1,500, but at this point you're feeling lethargic, your energy is low, you're not getting good gains in the gym, strength is low, sleep is poor, you're just not feeling yourself, and your quality of life is diminishing. That is when it's a good sign that maybe perhaps you should stop trying to lose further weight. Maybe a calorie deficit from beyond that point is not the viable solution for you. You got to reverse diet, get your metabolism up, and then restart that journey again, and then repeat as needed. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to be feeling like shit when you're doing this. It's not going to be sustainable that way. Plus, it's just going to cause undue stress, and it's just going to complicate the whole process. So yeah, think about that scenario as well. So there you go, 3 things that you can use for yourself right now, today, to assess your situation, assess your nutrition plan, assess your progress so far, to determine whether a reverse diet could be potentially something you need to consider to be doing to get beyond that point and keep losing weight and get to that physique you're trying to achieve. As you can see, it's an inevitable situation. A lot of people will have to inevitably do a reverse diet, especially if it's something that they're trying to do long term, in terms of getting a physique long term, especially if they've been chronically dieting. If this is you, it might be inevitable that you might have to reverse diet, but don't fear, okay? Just get yourself some help from a sports dietitian that can guide you, make sure you're doing things right track. While in theory, it's a simple process, it is a very advanced kind of nutrition strategy that you need to use in specific circumstances. And because of the potential for weight regain and that kind of, those factors that are in play there as well, you want to make sure you're getting the right guidance and doing it the right way. And to recap, just to give you an overall statement about what reverse dieting is, it's essentially a specific strategy for a specific purpose. And that purpose is that when your body stalls, when your weight loss stalls, and you're at a level now where creating further calorie deficits is not viable, or your body's just not feeling good, then you go to reverse diet, which is essentially increasing your calories strategically and systematically until your metabolism reaches a new threshold that you can then work from then again. And while doing this, of course, you're trying to minimize that weight regain so you can attain as much of those gains that you've kind of gotten so far, as well as to kind of keep all of that progress that you've made so far as well. That is essentially what the reverse diet is, okay, in a little nutshell. So perhaps now you've got the answer, okay, maybe you've been plateauing, wondering what's next, what's the next phase, perhaps a reverse diet is that. And I want to end by saying, while reverse dieting is simple in nature and in theory, it is a more advanced kind of nutrition strategy. And because of that, you want to have the right guidance for that and to be able to do it effectively. So please seek out myself or a sports dietitian to help you out with this, because you don't want to do a reverse diet, alone and potentially do it the wrong way, especially since weight regain is involved. Like I mentioned, potentially this could unravel your results if not done correctly. So you want to get the right guidance, the right kind of structure, and the right advice regarding this, as well as have someone to provide that accountability and to guide you in the right direction. Okay, you want the guesswork to be taken out so you can focus on the actual doing. So if you've got any questions about this video today, guys, about this topic, reverse dieting in general, just send me a message through Instagram. The link is in the description below. And as always, please like and subscribe, share with your family and friends. And until next time, see ya.